So you want a little R&R in Singapore, and you are thinking Sentosa. What about the W? When people hear W Hotel, they usually picture something very specific. Loud, late nights, high energy, and definitely not a place you'd immediately think of as family friendly. That's why the W Sentosa Island stands out so much. It breaks that stereotype in a way that feels intentional, not accidental. I stayed here on a short stop, wedged between business meetings in Singapore and a flight onward to another set of meetings elsewhere in Asia. I wasn't looking for a long vacation. Just a place to reset, sleep well, and not think too hard for a day or two. What surprised me was how well this hotel handled that role, while also being very clearly designed for families. So if you are looking for a late-night party, stay downtown. The location sets the tone right away. The hotel sits in Sentosa Cove, which is a marina neighborhood rather than the tourist-heavy parts of Sentosa. You're surrounded by yachts, low-rise residences, and a quieter, more controlled environment. You're still close to the city, but mentally it feels removed, which is exactly what you want if you're trying to decompress without fully disappearing. The cool thing is at night, you can still see the city skyline reminding you are sitting in an odd oasis outside one of the world's financial hubs. This W feels different from other W properties I've stayed at. The design is still bold, modern, and unmistakably W, but the energy is calmer and more considered. It's one of the most family-focused W hotels I've seen, and not in a kids are tolerated way. This place is actually built for them. The pool area really drives that home. It's large, well-designed, and genuinely fun. There's an awesome water slide that kids immediately gravitate toward, which completely changes the dynamic. Instead of a tense pool where parents are constantly managing boredom or safety, it feels relaxed and playful. The music is exactly what you'd expect from a W, subtle EDM beats, but it's dialed in perfectly. Loud enough to feel fun and energetic, quiet enough that it still feels like a family pool party rather than a day club. The rooms are another strength. By Singapore standards, they're spacious and well laid out. Beds are excellent, soundproofing is strong, and the overall setup works whether you're traveling solo, as a couple, or with kids. Most rooms have balconies, and the marina views at night are calm and surprisingly peaceful. This is a hotel that understands people actually want to sleep. Food inside the hotel is solid and reliable, but one of the underrated advantages here is what's just outside the property. Within a few steps, you have a variety of global restaurants: Italian, Asian, seafood, casual, and more upscale options. That flexibility is perfect, especially for families. You're not locked into hotel dining, and you don't need to plan a big outing just to get a good meal. One service moment really captured the tone of the hotel for me. When I checked in, I mentioned offhand that I didn't really know what I was doing the next day. The desk attendant immediately took that on as her responsibility. She walked me through options, thought through logistics, and very clearly wasn't comfortable until I had an actual plan in place. There was a noticeable concern that I might wander around aimlessly or waste the day, and she didn't relax until that risk was resolved. That's not scripted service. That's someone taking real ownership of the guest experience. What's even cooler is the history to Sentosa. The island was called Pulau Belakang Mati, which roughly translates to Island of Death from Behind. The name likely came from a mix of piracy, disease outbreaks, and its role as a defensive outpost, not anything mystical. During the British colonial period, the island was heavily militarized. It housed coastal fortifications, artillery batteries, and barracks designed to protect Singapore's harbor from naval attack. Ironically, those defenses were oriented south toward the sea, which made them largely ineffective during the Japanese invasion in World War II, when forces advanced from the north. It's come a long way from its humble origins. After the war, the island declined into relative obscurity until the Singapore government made a deliberate decision in the late 1960s to reinvent it. In 1972, the island was renamed Sentosa, meaning peace and tranquility in Malay, a very intentional rebrand. What followed was a long state-led transformation into a leisure and tourism destination, evolving over decades rather than through a single mega-project. Today's Sentosa, luxury resorts, beaches, golf, Universal Studios, and enclaves like Sentosa Cove, is the result of that slow, methodical redevelopment. The W is a key part of that. It's a good example of Singapore's broader approach. Take something strategically useful but economically dormant and convert it into a controlled, high-quality asset rather than letting it develop randomly. For me, the hotel was perfect as a quick weekend break between business meetings and a longer flight across Asia. It let me slow down without disconnecting entirely. At the same time, it's obvious this would be a fantastic place to bring your family for a proper break. Kids have space to play, parents can relax, and no one feels like they're compromising. The W Sentosa Island feels like a more mature version of the brand. It keeps the personality and energy, but strips away the excess. It's calm without being boring, fun without being chaotic, and polished without being stiff. If you come here expecting a party hotel, you'll misunderstand it. But if you're looking for a smart, relaxed resort that works just as well for business travelers as it does for families, this place really delivers.